So, let's do this one last time. Into the Spiderverse. It's a movie about a kid named Miles. He was bitten by a spider, met a bunch of friends, and I'm pretty sure you know the rest. We find out this kid has some pretty serious daddy issues and really likes to hang out with his uncle.
Hey.
Yikes. Oh, that's why he's called the Prowler. He meets the other Spider-Man, watches him die. Then he meets the other Spider-Man, almost watches him die too. Surprise, Spider-Man's hot now and black and white. Here he's definitely about to be killed by his uncle, but oh no, he watches him die too. That'll help the daddy issues. He even meets a cartoon pig, which was pretty weird, but
it can get weirder. I just washed my hands. That's why they're wet. No other reason.
Throughout the movie, the kid is constantly swinging between responsibilities and trying to be the person he thinks he needs to be. And seriously, there's some daddy issues going on here.
You gotta say I love you back.
Dad, are you serious?
But I can say a lot of good things about this movie. Is it fun to look at? Of course. Did it push the medium of animation forward and set a new standard of cool? Absolutely. Does it somehow pay countless tributes to a franchise tired of reboots, yet somehow completely overshadow everything before and after? Oh yeah. Is the soundtrack so good that you literally can't not include it in the video because it's so goddamn good? And do I really need you to subscribe because this video will make me literally no money because this album is so fucking good? Yeah, absolutely. But to me and really everyone else on the internet, there's only one part of these sensual 116 minutes of film that is easily one of the best scenes ever made. I mean, just look at all that exaggerated sweat. So, as much as I'd like to immediately jump into this scene, it's really important that we talk about why this feels so impactful. On its own, it's just some beautiful shots of a guy jumping off a building. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but how could this possibly be one of the best scenes ever made? Well, it really only comes down to 3 things done perfectly. And let's just start with the setup because, oh man, this entire movie leads up to this one scene. Let me explain. As soon as we're introduced to Miles, we can tell this is a kid with not only a lot on his plate, but someone who is confused on who exactly they even are. Something that's made even harder to figure out when you have so many aspects of your life pulling you in seemingly different directions. His dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs really loves him but pushes him too hard and really struggles to relate to him. Where he's way more comfortable and able to be himself on the streets of Brooklyn, he's given an opportunity to go to a great school with great opportunities, but with that come great expectations and really he feels he can't be himself. The only place he can be is with his Uncle Aaron. It's subtle, I know. To put it simply, Miles is a character who's struggling with his identity and doesn't know how to fit all the pieces of himself together. Something that's made even more complicated when
Everything changes.
well, not really. Okay, maybe it complicates things a little. Overall, Miles gets bit, gains some sticky wall and jaywalking powers, but even after all that, his internal problem stays the same. Like everything else in his life, becoming a Spider-Man comes with great expectations, and with those expectations, a fear of failure. Miles even says this himself when he first meets Chad Peter.
Like me.
I don't want to be.
And it's only from this point forward that the web of expectations and responsibility starts trapping Miles even further. By the way, this Peter is so fucking cool. Like, he just stopped it with his arm. I'm getting distracted, sorry. From this point on, Chad Peter dies, asking Miles to finish the Goober mission.
No, he's got everyone in his pocket.
Remember that jingle? He tries to become Spider-Man the same way the other Peter did, but fails miserably by tripping over his shoelaces, something repeatedly shown to be tied to his identity. Remember the shot too. And then Miles meets another Spider-Man who wants nothing to do with them and has even worse daddy issues than he does.
She wanted kids and it scared me.
What is with this movie? It's after meeting this Peter and the other spiders that the expectations put on Miles keep piling and piling up, just like they were before he was bit. Instead of just trying to fit into a school, now he has to be a Spider-Man, something he's very clearly not that good at.
What are you doing, bud?
He can't relax long enough to not stick to walls. He's clumsy and lacks confidence. And most importantly, he lacks all of the riz.
Hey.
Okay, then.
At this point, Miles is literally wearing a costume of someone he thinks he needs to be, but it just doesn't fit. It's a really subtle movie. There's even this great scene where all the spiders kind of gang up on Miles to see if he has the special spark they have, and he fails. Despite having unique powers that none of the other spiders have, he doesn't have the reason to get up and keep fighting, so he leaves to the one place he thinks is safe. Oh, that's an issue. Is that a voice changer on an elephant? Jesus, I'm sorry! They didn't need to make it that scary. But it's in the revelation that Miles' uncle, someone he's not only looked up to, but has been his shelter from the world, is actually the guy who's tried to kill him twice now in this movie. That completely shakes Miles off his game, and clearly he's gonna be the end antagonist of...
Miles?
Oh, they're gonna work... They're gonna work together? Oh, he's Uncle Ben. And it's really in this and the next two gut punches that this movie puts Miles at a breaking point.
You're the best of all of us, Miles. You're on your way.
While Miles' leap of faith is only 6 minutes away, he's confronted with not only his uncle's death, but every issue he's had building up in this movie. He can't meet the expectations of being another Peter Parker, so the team has to leave him behind. Suddenly, Miles, for the first time in the entire movie, is completely alone and has to sit in his failure.
When will I know I'm ready?
You won't. It's a leap of faith.
He lost. He couldn't meet the expectations, and now tied up has nothing left to reflect. But there's a knock at the door.
Miles. Miles is your dad. Please open the door. Yeah, okay, I get it, yes. Still ignoring me. Something happened. Look, sometimes people drift apart, Miles. Look, I know I don't always do what you need me to do or say what you need me to say, but I see this spark in you. It's amazing. It's why I push you, but it's yours. Whatever you choose to do with it, you'll be great. I love you. You don't have to say it back, though.
It's at this point that Miles realizes he has a choice. It's a choice he's really always had. In the face of expectations, we always have a choice. We can let them weigh us down, cloud our judgment, and make us unsure of ourselves. And no one would really judge you for that. Or you can look at yourself and every single imperfection and thing that shouldn't work together and shouldn't contribute to who you want to be and say fuck you and succeed anyway. You know, honestly, I wasn't expecting to get motivational in this video. Like, that went kind of hard, didn't it? Like, Miles, what are you doing? There is so much I can talk about here. From the callbacks to earlier scenes, dramatic payoffs, incredible music, and genuinely some of the best visual storytelling you can inject into your brain. It's in these few moments and honestly the entire finale of this movie that you realize Into the Spider-Verse has been giving you pieces of a puzzle and it just solved it right in front of you. Something you can see as clear as day as soon as you start analyzing what this scene means for Miles as a character. Where earlier in the movie, the mask of the Spider-Man was something that Miles desperately looked up to, tried to fit in, and literally beat him down. I don't need to say it again, do I? What Miles and you, the audience, finally realize is that he was never meant to be Peter Parker or meet any of the expectations put on him by other people. Instead, Miles once again finds himself on the roof of a building alone. The same roof from earlier in the movie and the site of Miles' biggest failure, becoming Spider-Man. You and likely Miles think back on everything that's led up to this moment. The friends, the family, and most importantly, the fear of failing again. As Miles stands on the edge of everything he could be, the city warps into an impossibly large scale, intimidating and daring him to quit just like the time before. We feel every pound of expectation and self-doubt on his shoulders, but unlike the last time where Miles' identity and background prevented him from succeeding, Miles is suddenly able to find strength in all of the voices that once bound him in a web. He hears his father's encouragement.
Spark, it's amazing.
A mother's love.
Our family doesn't run from things.
His uncle's farewell.
You're the best of all of us, Miles.
And as all of the pieces of himself start coming together, a spider's advice.
That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger?
Oh, it's so fucking cool every time. And it's here I want to share my favorite detail in really anything ever. We're shown throughout the entire movie that Miles' biggest fault as Spider-Man is his lack of control when he's scared. He can't command his invisibility, his venom shock, or even his wall crawling. But what do we see here when Miles finally takes the plunge to become Spider-Man? He's still scared out of his mind, but he jumps anyway, taking the glass with him. As Miles swings through the streets, he's scared out of his mind just like all the times before, but now he can finally trust himself. You realize that in this moment, Miles is still the same kid he's always been. He's just a kid from Brooklyn given a chance unlike anyone else around him. His new costume isn't just dyed but spray painted, a memory of his uncle and his own personality worn proudly on his chest. When the score uplifts, you don't just hear the banger that is What's Up Danger, but the hero motif of a fallen spider. camera flips upside down, you realize that Miles isn't falling away at all, but rising into what we all should be, ourselves. It's in finally embracing himself, faults and all, that Miles is able to be recognized as Spider-Man. Seriously, it's what the first person he sees calls him.
Miles?
Spiderman?
Oh, Miles listens to Andrew Tate. Jeez, oh God. Oh, maybe he isn't a role model. It's all these reasons why I love this scene and really the whole film. Into the Spider-Verse teaches us that despite whatever the world throws at you, whatever box it tries to put you in, and whatever doubts you may have along the way, should never, ever get in the way of being who you are. Sure, there are people you may look up to and are everything you want to be and seem to have it all figured out, but no one can figure you out but, well, you. Sure, they can give you advice on what worked for them in their universe, but in the multiverse that is human existence, at the end of the day, becoming who you're truly meant to be means accepting that you'll never waltz in black and white, be a little anime girl, or float across the screen to a delicious pie. In a way, we all live in our own Spider-Verse. We have goals and aspirations to be something more, yet everywhere you look, there are people who have already done it. And sure, there are people we can look up to, find inspiration in, and even emulate how they got their success, but the mistake that so many, including Miles, makes is that you should never try to be something you're not, or worse, be pressured into living someone else's dream. In a way, we all have our leaps of faith. Mine was making this YouTube channel and thankfully meeting all of you guys, but I bet you're asking, when will you know you're ready? Well, you won't. It's a leap of faith. Thanks for watching.